have demonstrated some of this sort of outcomes orientation piece as well as that sort of self-determination. Is that your understanding? And my gut feeling is that it's the next two sort of sections on intimacy, and that's really are the differentiators. Any thoughts around that?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I interpret your question properly, but let me feed it back and make sure I understood. Are you saying organizations that don't orient around outcomes as a negative example, or are you suggesting there's multiple examples of companies who do orient around outcomes and get a negative result? Which was it?
Yeah, that's right, the latter, right? The latter.
You want to maybe share an example of that, and maybe we can comment specifically on it? I mean, in the companies we studied, this was a really core part of what they did. We didn't do we don't do a lot of look how bad people are, but we also didn't find any evidence of people orienting around outcomes unsuccessfully in the groups that had differentiated themselves.
Right, and that was more my question. Were you looking? Did you find examples of these four variables that you're talking about now in companies that actually haven't taken market share but have lost it?
Oh yeah, right. Oh, so yes, there are certainly elements of those because the concept of outcomes isn't a new one. And maybe there's even a more nuanced way to consider and think about this. Where most companies who were struggling with this concept was around a legitimate business model around outcomes. Let's take the cliche of the professional service firm, and actually we did study two very, very large professional service firms in the company research group. When you're billing for hours, you're almost by default billing for inputs. And a lot of these organizations were finding it very hard to figure out a way to, bill only for value and weren't necessarily able to move away from the bill